What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Joe. This is Lifting with Style. If this is your first time here, please make sure you hit subscribe and that notification bell. Now, a question I've been getting a lot recently is how many reps should I do when I go to lift? And the answer to that is it really depends, right? So it's going to depend on your goal. So are you looking to gain strength? Are you just looking to build mass? Are you just looking to lose weight? Are you looking to do Olympic lifts? It's also going to depend on the exercise you're doing itself. So the number of reps you should do when you squat with a barbell is going to be different from the number of reps you should do when you do a curl, as well as which level you are when it comes to lifting. So if you're a beginner or an intermediate or an advanced lifter. So for the most part, what you'll find is that lifters actually do multiple rep schemes, meaning they don't just do 5 reps for everything, or they don't do just 12 reps for everything. They usually have a mix. So for certain lifts, they might do 5 reps. For others, they might do 8 to 12 reps. For others, they might do up to 20 reps, right? And again, it's all going to depend on exactly what they're trying to achieve. So the goal of a power lifter is to increase their 1 rep max for the squat, bench, and deadlift. Now, if you look at their program, what you'll find is that for the squat, bench, and deadlift, when they're doing those movements themselves, they'll often do them with very low reps, but at heavy loads. So you'll often find them doing them in the 1 to 5 rep range. Okay, but these aren't the only movements that powerlifters do. They also do assistance work. So this means that they exercise or do a resistance against the muscles that are going to assist with their squat, bench, and deadlift. So to give you an example, they often exercise their triceps. All right. And the reason they do that is because in the bench, your tricep is a major assistance muscle when doing the bench press. So for these assistance exercises, they'll often do it in a more bodybuilding type of style, meaning hypertrophy. Okay, so they'll often do 10 to 12 reps or more for these assistance muscles. Okay, so again, going back to tricep there, they'll often do tricep push downs for 10 to 15 reps. The reason that they do higher reps for the assistance work is simply because with hypertrophy, meaning increased muscle size, that also increases the strength of that particular muscle. Remember, as your muscle gets bigger, the stronger it's going to get as well, and the heavier the load it's going to be able to handle. Another example of an assistance exercise that powerlifters do at higher reps is the Romanian Deadlift, the RDL. Right? The reason is because they're trying to build up their hamstrings with that. Hamstrings are heavily involved with the squat and deadlift. So if you hypertrophy those muscles, meaning you make them larger, the heavier load they're going to be able to handle, meaning your squat and deadlift will go up because your hamstrings are able to handle a heavier load during those lifts. Now let's take a look at bodybuilders. Right? Bodybuilders are known for hypertrophy. Okay, so they do that with higher reps, 10 to 15 reps or even more sometimes. Most of the exercises that bodybuilders do will be in that higher rep range. However, there are times when they do lower reps for some exercises. Often you'll find this when they're doing the compound movements. So compound movements are ones that involve multiple muscle groups. So the squat, bench, and deadlift, for example, are all compound movements. So is the overhead press. The lower reps won't necessarily lead to as an immense amount of hypertrophy as higher reps do. What lower reps allow is for you to handle heavier loads. Okay, and when you have heavier loads, that means you're taxing your central nervous system, your CNS, more. Your CNS is the foundation for building muscle. Backing up your central nervous system is what leads to more muscle growth. What you'll find with bodybuilders a lot of the time as well is that they'll do a lot of special techniques. And the reason they do these is to increase the time under tension for the muscle. Increased time under tension leads to greater breakdown of that muscle, which leads to greater growth during recovery. These special techniques often include partials, which means you do partial reps at the end of a set. So for example, let's say you're doing a leg extension, so you do 12 reps of the leg extension there, and then immediately go into 12 reps of partials, meaning you do partial range of motion. There's also 1.5 reps where, for example, you're doing a tricep push down, right? So you push it down for once, then you come back up halfway, push it back down again, and then come back all the way up. So for that, that's counted as 1 rep. Isometric holds, where you hold the weight at a certain point for a certain amount of time. Eccentric loading, which means you're letting the weight down slowly in a negative sort of fashion. So for example, you're doing a bicep curl, so at the top here you're letting it down for a slow amount of time to the bottom. Rest pause, so for example, let's say you're doing a bench press, so you do 5 reps of the bench press there, then you immediately rack it, and then you rest for about 10 seconds, and then immediately go into more reps for as many as you can do, say another 3 to 5 if you can, then you rack it again, you rest for another 10 seconds or so, and then you immediately go into more reps until you can't do any more. Clusters, it goes on and on and on. So as you can see, lifting can get pretty complicated really quickly. Now, if you're an advanced lifter or even an intermediate lifter, chances are you've found what rep schemes work for you and have already tried a lot of these special techniques that I mentioned earlier. So this video is primarily for those who are beginners or those who are looking to start lifting. Here's my recommendations, right? First thing, don't worry about those special techniques that I mentioned earlier. Right now, just concentrate on doing regular reps for whatever exercise you're doing. What you primarily want to find out right now is your goal, okay? What exactly do you want to accomplish? Why do you want to start lifting? Right, so do you want to gain strength? Do you want to gain muscle mass? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to start competing in powerlifting at some point? What exactly do you want to do, right? Figure that out first. For most of you, if I had to guess, you probably want a mix of size and strength. So with that, you're going to want to do a mix of high and lower reps. And it's going to be dependent on which exercises you're doing. So my recommendation is that for the compound moves, remember the ones that involve multiple muscle groups like the squat, bench, and deadlift, is to do lower reps, usually in the 4 to 6 rep range. Any higher than that, then your technique is going to start to break down, which is just going to increase your risk of injury. So for most of the other exercises that you do, like isolated movements such as a bicep curl, then for those I recommend you do higher reps in the 8 to 12 range. Now, if all you care about really is just strength, then a mix of reps is still going to serve you pretty well. Okay, again, you want to do the lower reps for the compound movement, but you can still do higher reps for other movements. Okay, remember, like I mentioned earlier, higher reps leads to hypertrophy, but hypertrophy, meaning muscle growth, is still going to lead to strength in that muscle. Okay, as your muscle gets bigger, the stronger it's going to get. So at the end of the day, as a beginner, your main goal is to build a foundation. What matters most is consistency and hard work, all right? There's no magical number of reps that's going to help you at that time, right? It's just a matter of getting into the gym and moving some weight. So just pay attention to the exercise that you're doing and do the number of reps that you feel is appropriate for that, okay? Again, my recommendation is 4 to 6 reps for the compound movements, other movements 8 to 12. Just keep it simple and put in the work. You do that, then your goals, whether it be strength or hypertrophy, are going to happen. Alright guys, thanks for watching. My name is Joe. This is Lifting with Style. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.